Hello, everybody. It's Megan from Crazy Florida, and I want to thank you for coming along to this video where I create my very first Lazy Susan swipe. I'm very excited to share that with everybody. But before I do, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respect to their elders past, present, and those emerging. This week we celebrate our Australia Day, and it's a day that holds much debate around many Australians about whether we should change it, and I'm a big advocate for changing the date. January 26th is an appropriate day to hold a national celebration of like celebrating your birth of your country. It recognises that January 26th is very painful for First Nations because it reminds them that's when Captain Arthur Phillip made his way to shore, and that was the start of the massacre of the First Nations people and the Indigenous people that were already here and had been living on this land for 65,000 years prior to his arrival. So I'm a big advocate for changing the date, but I'm not going to waffle on here. I just wanted to acknowledge that, and let's get on and have a look at this amazing video on my very first successful swipe. So this is the Lazy Susan, and this is the first time I've done a swipe of this magnitude before that's actually also worked, and I think she looks amazing. She's resined and just shimmers. So this is the resin finished product. She just sparkles and shimmers, and I'm pretty proud of this. Like, swiping's never been my forte, and I'll probably say that over and over again in this video. But as you can agree, when you look at this piece of work, she's just amazing and is going to look amazing on someone's dining table. So let's get on with the show, shall we? So here we are with my Lazy Susan. I have prepared it already. So I've taped the back with my green frog tape, taped everywhere. And then I've also prepped my surface. So I've given it a light sand and cleaned it with some alcohol. And then I've sprayed it with my 123 primer. This is a really good thing I found amazing for my Lazy Susans. Before I did this, I was finding when it came to resining, the wood actually bubbled, or at least the resin would bubble through the wood. The wood would, I don't know. I don't know what the explanation of it is, but when I started using this primer, I find that happens a hell of a lot less. So definitely worth that little step. So now I'm just putting my pillow down. I use my gloves for this because it's such a big surface. I think this is it's somewhere between 32 and 36 centimeters, this Lazy Susan. So I'm just getting my gloves in because it's a lot faster, a lot easier to do. You need to have a pillow. It's really important to have your surface covered with some paint, because you need something for your design, your pillow, your bloom, your swipe, whatever you're doing, to glide over. So I've just changed the angle here so you can see what I'm doing. So now I'm actually going to apply my my mound pillow. So this is just my surface sort of coverage so that my pillow, when I put it on, also has something to glide over and I don't lose my design. I just realized that my surface is uneven, so I just went and grabbed a board to pop down so my pillow doesn't flow to one side. So we're just going to excuse my 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 arm there, that just getting in the way of the camera. So we're just popping a little pillow mound down. Now, swiping is not my forte. It's not something that I've ever been good at. I can bloom, no problems whatsoever, but put a swipe tool in me and I really struggle. I struggle with the pressure. I struggle with how to do it. I don't know what it is. I probably just need to go and hang out with Lisa Marvin, at one of her retreats if I can ever get to the US. And that's not happening for at least another 4 years now, thanks to Donald Trump. But I just have to keep practicing and keep practicing. But I just decided I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone a lot more. And so that's what I'm doing today. I am biting the bullet and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. The first time I did this, I hated it and I scrapped it. So this is actually a second attempt on this particular board. So I'm hoping I get it right this time. Obviously I do. You've seen the image. But it was just a lot of trial and error. So I'm just making sure right now that I have put my pillow down evenly. Or at least I've got enough of my surface to go. I am going to put a fair amount of paint down on this with the swipe. With the colors and everything, and I'm going for a green blue. I made a few coasters with some of the new pigments that have come out, and I will list them in the comments because I can't remember right now what they all were, but certainly the new pigments that came out from TLP I've used. Now I'm pretty confident that was a Phthalo Green that I've put down, and then I think I put some Phthalo Blue. This is going to be a bit of guesswork, and I do apologize if it's wrong, but as I said, the colors will be listed at the start. I mean, not at the start, but in the description of the video. So don't hold what I say here for truth. Now, if I remember right, this might be TLP Luck. Oh my god, the greens that came out with the latest lot of pigments from this little piggy were stunning. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, that might be Luck, or it might be Erichevia, actually. It's either Luck or Erichevia, and this is either Luck or Erichevia. I just can't remember which order I actually put them in, but I definitely use both of them in this particular bloom. And then I can't remember what I use, so we'll just wait till the next color comes out and I'll have another guess. I'm just swirling them down. I'm not putting them in any particular way. I'm just giving them lots of squiggles around. Oh my god, what was that color that was really weird? I can't remember what this one actually is, to be honest. I'm so bad. Like, I can't believe I forget all the time the colors that I use when I'm creating things. I probably should take a photo of them and then I can remember what they actually all are. But that's my memory. That's, you know, pushing 50 and you're losing your memory. As I keep joking, my old timers are kicking in. This is, I think, TLP Algae, which is just the most gorgeous shimmer, glitter, blue, green in it is just divine. I can't remember what I put in here, but it wasn't much left on it. So it's a colour I've been using a lot of. We will check that towards the end. And I'm pretty sure, or am I not sure? I'm trying to remember if I actually used an interference blue or green on top. Yep, I did. So this is an interference green. It will be from Pearl X, just to add some more interference to the top, which will just divulge into the swipe when I swipe it out. I will, I'm just going to put down some mats, which I should have done at the start. It's always good to make sure you prepare your surface before you actually go and start doing your project, or especially if you're videoing. So I'm using, I can't remember what swipe tool this is, but it's a nice big swipe tool that Fluid Art Co make. So I'm just coating that now with my white, titanium white pillow, cell activator that's mixed with Amsterdam and Floetrol, Australian Floetrol, and now we're just swiping. So I think I've got it, sort of. I think this works. So I think a lot. I say think a lot. This is definitely better than the first swipe I did. So I don't know if you remember that there's a couple of videos ago, where I tried swiping on a Lazy Susan previously, and it did not work. But what I did was, instead of throwing it out, I improvised with lots of little swipes. I think that will be video number 20. Maybe it was, I did a reverse swipe on it, and it didn't do what I wanted it to do. But I ended up creating something amazing with it. Whereas this is just a standard swipe. which I've not done before. So I'm just getting the camera into a good position for when I do the spinning. And I'm just letting it sit there for a bit to let the cells develop and just see what happens. But instantly I fell in love with what I'm seeing here right now. So I knew I had something that I could work with that was going to give me something beautiful at the end. So I'm pretty stoked with that. But I'm just weighting my camera. That's my camera holder there that I've just put my pot of pillow paint on, so my camera doesn't topple over and fall into my amazing Lazy Susan. So we're just going to tilt it around a little bit so we can get some of that design into the middle, so that when I spin the Lazy Susan, I don't spin it off. Now, I'm just trying to work out, again, that's the other problem I struggle with which way am I supposed to spin? Now, you'll see here, I haven't put much protection down on I've got my Fluid Art Co mats there underneath, which are great because you can just let your drips dry and they become a skin, and you can create jewelry, earrings, necklaces from the drips that come off. So that's really cool about those. But I think what I've just discovered here is I'm going to have to give it a pretty decent spin. The problem with that is it means that the paint is actually going to spray everywhere. And I mean, it really did spray everywhere when I was spinning it. So I didn't realize that. I didn't think about that at the start. So you'll see here now I'm just using my puppy pad to catch those little sprays so that they don't go all over my floor. And you'll see at the base of my camera lens there, it's now starting to come out white. Now I do spin this both ways. Even though you can clearly see that the design is going one way, I do want to spin it both ways to try and get parts of it off, like particularly this white edge here that's in the corner there, this little white bit that you can see I'm tilting towards to try and pull the design down there. So that's why I was spinning the opposite direction, to try and encourage the paint to move that way to get that off. I don't like that at all. So I do want to get that off. So I'm going to be a little bit aggressive with my spinning. You also need to spin your paint because you need to spin the excess paint off. You only want about 1 to 2 millimeters, if that, of paint on your canvas of whatever you're making. If you have it too deep or too much on there, when it dries, it's going to dry uneven, and you risk the chance of, as it's drying, it's going to crack. So you do need to work out a way, whether it's tilting your excess paint off, whether it's spinning your excess paint off. You do need to find a way to make sure that you don't have too much paint on your canvas. So that's why I'm also spinning. I'm not just spinning to get the design the way I want it. I am spinning to make sure that I don't have too much excess on it. Look at this. I can't believe I did the biggest happy dance. I think August is rubbing off on me when he does his little dance at the end of his creations with his puppy. I did a very big happy dance when this was finished, because I couldn't believe I actually had a swipe that was worth keeping on a big canvas. I was really excited. So this is it. This is like the finished design. I'm kind of sitting here debating right now whether I need to do any other swiping on it to make some more cells. Do I need to cover it in cells? Excuse me. But I think I ended up deciding, nope, it's great where it is. So I've just got my blowtorch out to just pop some bubbles, make sure that any bubbles that were in the paint have popped, and just to hopefully encourage some of those cells to come out. I was debating about the white bit where the swipe comes out, whether I was going to leave that or not, whether I should do a swipe down the bottom area to cover that white bit. But I ended up deciding, going, no, leave it. It actually looks okay. It actually works with this particular Lazy Susan. You don't have to have a canvas full of cells. And I did learn that a lot with my beach swipes when I did the Shelley Art Live in Brisbane. Is I used to swipe every part of my beach swipe, and it was just always over full with cells. Whereas I certainly learned that you don't need to do that. And so hence why I think I'm starting to gain some confidence with doing things like swiping, because you don't have to swipe every single part of your canvas. It doesn't have to be full. Even though I've got sort of, my cells are all centered around one area, and I've got just this mix of the blue-green from the colors that I have used, it actually works. So now you can see here I'm debating about whether I'm going to do some cells, and I'm now actually thinking I did. Yep. See, I'm running my little swipe tool backwards and forwards. The reason why I did it is not so much for the white bit, but just above the white bit, you'll see that there's some cell activator just sitting on top of some color, and I didn't like that part. I wasn't happy with this part right there. Yeah, right there where I'm putting the tool down. So I wanted to swipe that part more so. Not so much to get rid of the white, but more to just get rid of that cell activator that's just sitting on top as a cover. So I kind of wanted to try and make that flow from the big cells into some smaller cells, and I'm just blowing that now to get that cell activator to do its job over those few colors that there. And so you'll end up with this big line of cells leading into this nice little small part, and I've left that white part there because there's nothing wrong with that white bit at the end. It actually gives you that spiral, especially as you spin the Lazy Susan. But when we have those cells there, those tiny little cells now that are starting to pop out, and I'm sorry that you can't see that in the video, but you can zoom in. So please do zoom in if you're having issues, especially if you're viewing on your phone. You can zoom in on a YouTube video and get a better view. So yeah, this is pretty much it. There's really not much more I do than a couple of extra spins just to flow off the extra paint, and just help those new cells that I have just swiped in to fit within the canvas itself. But other than that, that is pretty much all that we do. I am not showing you the resin video of this. I actually did forget to do the video when I resined, so apologies in advance for that. But if you want to see a resin video, I think I've got a video on how to resin earlier on in my pieces. Even though it's not a Lazy Susan, I do tape the back of the Lazy Susan again for my resin work, just to protect the surface. But there you go. We have pretty much finished. I will show you the final pieces again, but please, as I always say, if you like the video, if you want to see more, please like and subscribe. I really love every subscriber that subscribes. If you've got any questions, any comments, please post them. I will reply to you all. I really hope this has given you a lot of encouragement to go out there and try your own. And if there's a technique that you're not overly confident with, keep practicing it, or just bite the bullet and just do it, because you never know what might come from it. I didn't expect this, but I love it. So until next time, happy creating, and I will see you soon.
Soundstripe.